Hello, hello, we are live. Welcome to Cooking with Chef Frank. My name is Frank Kramer. I'm your host, and I'm the founder of Eat Like a Vegan Chef. In today's episode, we are talking about the healthiest way to cook your veggies and to boost your nutrition. So, welcome everyone. Um, if you don't mind, just introducing yourself while you're there. It's always nicer to talk to an audience. Okay, so in today's episode, we are going to talk about what cooking methods are actually the healthiest ones. Very often I get the question, um, okay, so how do I cook my veggies to protect the nutrients in there? And it's really not that easy to answer, so to speak. It is, but it is not because every vegetable is different. For instance, you can cook a carrot um, in a way to protect or actually increase the carotenoids, um, and you can actually eat them raw and still get a good dose of nutrients. So I want to make sure that everyone can hear me properly. If you could give me a quick yes, you can hear me properly. Otherwise, I'm going to put on my headphones. Um, Again, who just anyone who just joined, please say hello so we see that you're there. It's always nice to talk to an audience. Excellent, excellent. Okay, you can hear me. Good. Thank you so much. Um, okay, so what is the best method to cook your vegetables in? Or, what equipment, what's the best? I will get to this in just a moment. Boil, steam, saute, or pressure cooking. We'll go to those in just a minute. Um, by In my opinion, the best way to cook your vegetables is steaming. There is absolutely, in my opinion, there's no question about that. Steaming is the best way to um, cook your vegetables. But the problem is getting the flavor into your steamed vegetables. If you are used to spices and herbs, that's a bit tricky because when you steam your vegetables, it's hard to get flavor into your vegetables. Um, but I have a little surprise for you a little bit later on, which cooking method are actually one of the best, and I'm pretty sure you. I'm pretty sure that um, you're guessing the wrong one. So why don't we make a little game here? Who Tell me, what do you think is the best, not necessarily the best, but what is a cooking method that protects nutrients and cooks it the fastest way? Which one is it? Put it in the comments. What do you think it is? Besides steaming. That's going to be a fun question. Let me know what you think, and I'll give you the answer. Okay, so I'll wait until the answers come in because StreamYard always takes its time before the answers come here. Um, Again, steaming is the number one preferred method for most vegetables to maintain your nutrients. Sauteing can also be a very healthy um, way to preserve your vitamins and nutrients. Um, Basically, previously when we cook with oil, it was assumed that the vegetables that we saute are being, emulsed in oil, that it's better for us because you have fat soluble vitamins, for instance, that can be easily absorbed when you saute in oil. And since we don't saute with oil, the question is now, what do we have to do in order to absorb these vitamins? So my answer is always use green leafy vegetables in your stews, because green leafy vegetables have great omega-3s and all the fats you need. So when you cook your green leafy vegetables with your sauteed vegetables, you always have a dose of fat in there, which will help you absorb these vitamins and nutrients. For instance, vitamin A, D, E, and K are all fat soluble vitamins. So very important. Um, let's see. Air fryer, braising, saute with oil, saute, bake, okay. Pan cook with water as needed. Boil, stir fry, blanch, good. Wow, these are great answers. Um, I like crispy veggies, steamed a little. Okay. So none of these answers are actually the one I'm looking for. So the answer is pressure cooking. And you probably look at me, wow, what's happening to him now? Why is he saying that pressure cooking is the one to go for? Okay, so almost every one of you, not everyone, but most people nowadays have an instant pot, and it's so popular because you just put your veggies in and cook it. So the way we can protect the nutrients in our food is by utilizing the Instant Pot and the low feature of the pressure cooking, and cook whatever vegetables, legumes you're cooking for the least amount of time. So, for instance, when you cook a lentil soup, uh, that is cooking maybe for 8 9 minutes, when you usually have to cook it for 30 or 40 minutes. So the reason is, so many people are worried of using the pressure cooker because it is believed that the high temperature would destroy more nutrients. However, at a closer look, pressure cookers actually cook at a lower temperature than most methods. And of course, it's much more convenient. So researchers found that pressure cooking preserved nutrients in food more than any other cooking methods. Can you believe this? This is absolutely incredible. And since pressure cooking doesn't require a much higher temperature than, you know, than other cooking methods, it shortens the cooking time. There's less time for the nutrients to get lost. So I find this to be very exciting, because many of us don't have the time to cook, for hours on a stove. So that's what I usually do when I do my batch cooking. I put my longest dish on a stove. Let's say it's a soup, for instance. Put it on the stove, let it cook for 30 minutes. In the meanwhile, if I have to cook lentils or um, dal or whatever I'd like to cook, I put this in my Instant Pot, and that's ready in 10 minutes. And then I can do another stew, which is also ready in 10 minutes, and I get everything done in 30 minutes. So from that point of view, it's so helpful to use pressure cooking. Okay, let's see. Raw. Sherry is saying raw vegetables. Yes, absolutely. Raw vegetables are perfect as well. Um, Let me get to raw vegetables, because when we actually, let's talk about raw vegetables a little later. Um, I want to actually read to you something an article what I read in the ClinMed International Library for Medical Practitioners, and that was pretty interesting. I'm pretty sure you know most of it, but um, they say that health benefits of a high of a diet high in fruits and vegetables are probably inexhaustible, which is absolutely incredible. These include cardiovascular health, protection against free radicals, prostate, lung, mouth, throat cancer, constipation, and may help in preventing uh, diverticulosis, um, diabetes, and obesity. So I find this to be, I mean, I knew about it absolutely, but for anyone who's new to a whole food plant-based lifestyle, this is priceless, absolutely priceless. And since we don't eat too many processed foods, it's the way to go. Many studies confirm that the consumption of fruit and vegetables helps protect against several chronic diseases associated with aging, such as cancer, cardiovascular, and hepatic diseases, brain, immune dysfunction, fulfilling the role of functional foods. Um, I find this to be so highly interesting. And of course, I do this every day, but it's just absolutely incredible. And anyone who is new to a whole food plant-based lifestyle, you have the opportunity to to change your life, so to speak. You literally have the opportunity to change your life. If you need to lose weight, that is the way to go. If you want to improve your health, that's the way to go. And what better way? I actually wanted to mention this towards the end, but I am coming up with a new program which is called the Health Momentum Program, which is starting next week, actually in about 10 days. Um, I will give you more information later about it, but it is free. It is free to join, and it may be a game changer for you. So stick around towards the end, and I will give you more information about it. Um, okay, so when we talk about vegetables, for instance, cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, and kale, just to mention a few, all known for their powerful anti-cancer chemicals in there. But the thing is, most of the time we cook them and then they're no longer there. So from that point of view, it's a bummer, so to speak. So these health-promoting nutrients are released when the plant is cut or crushed before the cooking process. And that's the key. That's the key for preserving these um, anti-cancer uh, compounds. So exposing broccoli, for instance, to the air allows it to activate the enzyme, um, um, which is called sulforaphane, um, for about 40 minutes before we cook it. So this is key here. And very often we take our vegetables, we cut it, we cook it, and that's it. But you heard me very often when we do our batch cooking. I like to prepare all my vegetables in advance. So when you do that, you can start cooking without delay. You basically cook bang, 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 one dish after the other, and it's so much easier. The advantage is when you do this, you're exposing all these cruciferous vegetables to the air. So when you expose, as I mentioned before, the broccoli, for instance, with oxygen, sulforaphane is being created. And this is such incredible news where uh, a lot of people don't know it yet. But I think if you follow Dr. Greger and other doctors, you heard about it. And it's just absolutely incredible. And I want you to know about this because it's crucial when it comes to fighting certain diseases. Okay, let me see if we have any comments here. Um, okay, I'll get there in a minute. Okay, good. If you have any questions, just put them in here and I'll see if I can catch up on those. Good. Raw vegetables. That's maybe going to surprise you. Of all the vegetables, that one that produces a really important nutrient when eaten raw is, let me see if you can guess it. Let me see if you can guess the vegetable. What vegetable? And it's a vegetable you use every day. Every day you're using this vegetable. Can you come up with the answer? Tell me, uh, let me know if you guess what it is, which vegetable I'm talking about. It's a very, very basic vegetable. And let's see. I see some correct answer and I see some wrong answers. Yes. Karen is correct. Onion. Laura is correct. Onion. Yes. So basically, when you cut an onion and you start to cry, that exactly is the anti-inflammatory compound in onions that is so healthy. For instance, when we used to cut onions in a restaurant for, 50 pounds of onions, we were crying like little kids. And I always thought, okay, as a chef, I'm going to get used to this. And I never did. Never did. Even today, I cry when I cut my onions. And um, we used to joke among chefs, oh, you love sick? You're crying again? Yeah, again. So that is the anti-inflammatory compound in onions. So when we cook onions, we lose these anti-inflammatory ingredients. So it's important that we eat some onions raw. So that's where our salad comes in the morning. When we eat our salad, um, add red onion. They are not as pungent as sometimes as white onions, but equally good. Actually, they have even more antioxidants because of the color. The color represents the antioxidant in each vegetable. So you have red, green, yellow, orange, black, brown, purple. We have all different kind of colors. All these colors represent antioxidants. And so make sure that you add some onions to your salad in the morning. I know when we go to work, it's probably not a good idea, but hey, we have to look out for our health. Okay, good. Um, Onions also contain a phytonutrient called allicin, and it's an important nutrient that is great for curbing our hunger. Keep this in mind. So if you eat this in the morning, you will curb your hunger feeling for many hours. Keep this in mind, okay? Um, Then, of course, there are many other vegetables you can eat raw, such as spinach, berries, Brussels sprouts, kale, broccoli, lettuce, snow peas, green bell pepper, parsley, herbs in particular, definitely all herbs, and leek. So these vegetables are perfect to eat raw. Obviously, there's many more vegetables you can eat, but these are vegetables you can enjoy, and you don't have to worry that you actually um, not utilizing some of the nutrients. Because when it comes to raw or cooked vegetables, you can either decrease or increase its benefits. And I'll get there in a minute. Let me just see if we have any. Okay. Um, I'm trying to check the comments here and there. Okay, great. So, for instance, in France, it is common to begin a meal with a plate of raw crudités, vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, carrots. Everyone knows crudité. So this is obviously, you see this in restaurants very often in any type of shape or form that you get a dish um, made with vegetables. However, in recent years, I haven't seen too many restaurants utilizing raw vegetables as an appetizer. It's a very sad thing, and It's my job to um, make you aware of it, and hopefully other chefs aware of this, because it is such an important part of our lifestyle. When you consume raw vegetables first of all, they are much quicker digested, except a few exceptions like apples and carrots. They take way longer to digest, but in most cases, raw vegetables are faster digested than the cooked ones. Um, So these crudités, for instance, are being served with, usually served with ranch or aioli or hummus. In our case, we can eat it with a plant-based aioli or plant-based hummus, and it's a perfect appetizer to eat before your meal. Um, when you eat a salad or a crudité or vegetables before your meal, before your cooked meal, you actually ensure that you get the nutrients you need from both vegetables. For instance, um, when you eat tomatoes, tomatoes have a cancer-fighting property called lycopene. When you eat raw tomatoes, you get a punch of vitamin C. Vitamin C has been probably destroyed by 50% in most cooked vegetables. So when you eat your raw vegetables, you get lycopene. I'm sorry, you get your vitamin C and potassium and many other vitamins and nutrients. But when you cook your tomatoes, guess what? You get a 30% high dose of lycopene than you get otherwise if you eat them raw. Lycopene is essential for prostate health, so it's very good for men. Lycopene is the red pigment found in tomatoes. As I mentioned before, they all have, vegetables have colors, and these colors are antioxidants. Like this one is the lycopene. It's also in watermelon. It's in pink guava, papaya, and in many other vegetables that are red. So um, when it comes to lycopene, you want to slightly cook your vegetables. And it's not, you can actually cook tomatoes for 30 minutes and you still get a full dose of lycopene. So, for instance, when you make marinara sauce and you let it cook for half an hour, you don't have to worry that you killing uh, the antioxidants. You're actually increasing the antioxidants, which is the beauty part of it, the great part of it. Um, So in case of mushrooms, they're better when they're cooked because mushrooms have also very powerful antioxidant um, properties. They also have powerful tumor. They inhibit the growth of tumors, and that's according to some researchers. Asparagus is absolutely great too when cooked, as it increases in cancer-fighting antioxidants when slightly cooked. Um, one of my favorite vegetables, beets. Beets are just absolutely incredible, and beets is probably one of the most um, power enhancing vegetables I know there. For instance, marathon runners, weightlifters, all, not all, but many of them drink a glass of beet juice before they go on a competition because it enhances their performance. It's absolutely incredible. Um, Beta root, the root of beta of beet, also the leaves. You can eat the leaves as well. Have carotenoids, phenols, B vitamins, B1, B2, B3, B6, and guess what? B12. Not much, but it has B12. Um, it has folates, it has fibers, and it has a small amount of sugars that is actually beneficial to you because it's connected to the fibers. So it's a low um, it's the sugar is very low, so it doesn't raise your it's a low glycemic vegetable. I'm sorry. So basically, there are so many other vegetables you can utilize, but now let's go to the cooking methods because I didn't go through all the cooking methods. Steaming, by far the best one. Recent studies prepared broccoli using 5 popular methods: boiling, microwaving, steaming, stir frying, and stir frying and boiling. The study found that steaming kept the highest level of nutrients. Um, Nutrients, as I mentioned before, I'm sorry, sauteing. That number two, I would say, definitely great, but you need to do it with green leafy vegetables. Um, Pressure cooking, of course, a great way to do, a great way to reduce your cooking time and still get a dose of your nutrients. Um, then we have roasting, we have baking, we have so many other methods, but they all cannot compare to steaming. So steaming is the queen of all cooking methods. Okay, let's see if we have. Karen is saying, I steam a mixture of veggie in a pot. I put a raw bean sprouts on top. Okay, I would recommend eating your raw vegetables first and then having your cooked vegetables after. Um, Red pepper, yes, absolutely. You see, I didn't mention red pepper under raw vegetables because when you cook red pepper, you're actually getting a bigger dose of the antioxidants, the lycopene. So from that point of view, I would cook them, even though you can eat them raw. Okay. Um, yes, absolutely. I love vegetables pickled as well. Definitely. Good. Okay. Do you have any questions? I'll be happy to answer any questions you have about any other cooking methods. Let's see. Let's see. So again, when I saute my vegetables, sauteing is one of my favorite vegetables or favorite cooking methods, simply because I mean, as a chef, sauteing is just beautiful. Um, but again, when you saute, you don't want to add too much water um, to your saute process, because when you do that, you reduce the heat and then you're basically steaming the vegetables. You can do that. Obviously, it enhances the nutrients, but in the same token, when you cook with too much water, you reducing the flavor profile. So when we saute, I'd like to saute and caramelize my vegetables so I get flavor out of it. But I do it in such a way that I add a little bit of water every time the vegetables turn brown, caramelizing. That's when I add a little water to it, preventing the burning process. So that's one of my favorite cooking methods. Obviously, steaming is by far the most uh, you know best cooking method there is to protect your nutrients. Okay, good question. Steaming in microwave versus on the stove. Well, okay, let me. Um, I'm not a fan of nuking. It's just basically when you microwave foods, you have variation, so to speak, what cooks our food. And I'm not a big fan of it. You can, but I don't like it. So what I prefer is, let me show you. You can steam in your Instant Pot. See this here? That goes into your in, into your Instant Pot. It has several trays in here. You can put two trays of food in here. Put a cup of water in the bottom and just steam. That's it. And you put it on steam, literally a minute or two, and your food is ready. Obviously, the water has to be hot, and the process until it steams takes a while. But usually, the steaming part takes only a minute or two. Um, you can also steam in your pot. Look at this here. A pot, a strainer. You put a cup of water in here. Put your vegetables in here, and then you put your lid on top of it, and that's it. And that's how you steam. When you just a word to boiling, when you boil your vegetables, which many of us did, including myself, even when I was a chef in a restaurant, we will cook, let's say, our green beans, our broccoli, all these vegetables, we would cook in water, in a big pot of water, and then we strain the water. Uh, Very often we use the water for either for broth or for soup, but we weren't aware of that broth actually contains all the nutrients. And at home, if we don't utilize that water, very often it's been thrown out, and we actually throw out all these nutrients. So when you boil in water, don't throw out the water. Use the water either for broth or use it for a sauce or a stew. So you can put it aside, put it in the refrigerator, and when you cook a stew, you use this water, what you have left from the beans or from the broccoli, and so you're not wasting any of the nutrients. Okay, so keep this in mind when you cook your veggies. Okay, Lynn is asking. Okay, Lynn is asking, can you cover the roasted vegetables one more time? I know we discussed it last night in our conversation. Um, when you roast vegetables, uh, my favorite way of roasting vegetables is basically I steam my vegetables for 2 minutes. Um, I do this so that I get enough moisture into my vegetables. Then I put them in a bowl. I season them with whatever you would like to use. Um, and then I put them on a tray and roast them. That has the advantage that the vegetables are soft inside, but they get crispy outside. Okay, so you have to cook it in a fairly high temperature, 350, 375. I don't like to cook my veggies higher than that, then they start to burn. But um, that's how I like to do this, and they usually come out pretty nice. Sometimes, if you use, what about potatoes? Good question too. Um, Potatoes the same way. You see, when French fries are being made, French fries are boiled in water first, and then they're being fried. After they have been dried and seasoned, then they go into the deep fryer. So we can do the same. We just don't boil it. We steam it, and then we can air fry it. That works perfectly fine. But so I wanted to tell you a little bit about potatoes and all starchy vegetables. Um, there has been a study done many years ago that when you fry potatoes or any starchy vegetables for that matter, you actually create acrylamide, which is a chemical produced when starchy foods such as potatoes are fried, roasted, or baked at a high temperature. And the browning process is actually a reaction that produces this chemical. So it's I mean, according to studies, they say that these um, chemicals cause cancer in animals, but they're considered toxic to humans. It's not 100% proven, but they did a study over 10 years of people who ate a lot of French fries. And we're talking about fried now. We don't fry anymore, which is great. But they said the fried process is even worse than that. So people who eat fried vegetables, like fried French fries, um, had a higher risk of death than anyone else. So from that point of view, I want you to be aware of it when you roast your potatoes. Roast them at a rather lower temperature, like 350, and don't brown them as much as you know you would otherwise, because the browning effect creates these chemicals, and these chemicals over time are not healthy for you. So from that, I mean, believe me, I like roasted potatoes. I love them, and I actually, in fact, I made some yesterday, but I kept them in the oven at a 350-degree oven for um, a time, long enough time, so that they got golden brown, but not too brown. Okay, it's just some food for thought. But then again, very often we forget that cooked potatoes can be just equally delicious. So don't forget about this. If you make a nice stew with a sauce, some nice parsley potatoes that have been steamed, oh my goodness, tastes wonderful. Okay, let's see if we have any other comments here. Okay, so I don't know, did I cover the roasted vegetables? When you, I think I mentioned it, no? We steam them first, then we season them, then we put them in a tray, and we bake them at 350 degrees. One more uh, word for heat. When we cook, or when we roast, or when we saute in oil, when the temperature goes higher than 350 degrees, the oil, most oils turn toxic. It's the same as with the starches, but when oils go over their burning point, which most oils, let's say, I think it's peanut, I think it's coconut. Coconut has a very high burning point. Avocado has a high burning point. Um, when you use those oils and you come close to the burning point, that's when they turn carcinogenic. So you want to be aware of this if you cook with oil. The good thing is we don't cook with oil, so therefore we don't have this issue. Um, good. Okay, so I just wanted to quickly mention my health momentum um, program that I will feature in about 10 days. It's probably going to be a 2-day workshop. It's free. You will learn a lot. We are creating a plan for anyone who hasn't created a whole food plant-based plan to lose weight, to improve your health. It's going to be a total game changer. I promise this. I've been working for this program quite a while now, and I'm really really excited to offer this to everyone. It's a free workshop, and everyone can participate. Everyone who is already in the case study, you know what I'm talking about. It's very similar to that, but I wanted to make sure that at least that everyone is exposed to this, to the information, and you can create a goal. And I will have this every month. Okay, that's a funny comment here. I don't know what this is here. Yeah. Okay, good. Yes, absolutely. Skin in most vegetables are definitely full of vitamins and nutrients. Okay, so that's it for me today. Let me know if you have any questions. As usual, anyone on YouTube, please give this video a like, a thumbs up, I'm sorry, or on Facebook, give it a like. And um, so I hope you enjoyed this conversation. And if you have any questions, you know where to reach me. So I would say have a great day. Anyone who like more information, you can find it on my website, eatlikeaveganchef.com. I have also sent an email out with all the information. If you are part of my email list, then look at the bottom of the email. You will actually see more information about this momentum. You can sign up for a call because I only accept people into this momentum shop through a call. Again, I'm very particular when it comes to people who sign up for my programs because I want people who have the same goal. I want everyone to be in the same, you know, I want everyone to have the same benefits, so to speak. If you're looking to get healthier, lose weight, or transition to a whole food plant-based lifestyle, uh, or like to learn more about cooking, that is for you, definitely for you. But I don't want people in there who don't have those interests. And and you know what I'm talking about because whoever is currently in my case study, you know what kind of people we have in here. These are wonderful, wonderful individuals, and I cannot say this often enough how happy I am and blessed I am that I have all these individuals in this group. It's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I will also post it on my website soon. I haven't created a sign up button for the Momentum workshop yet. I will do it, but again, check your emails and you will get more information there. Okay, great. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great day. Be safe and think plant based.